Going live for the first time in a while. Just wanted to honestly talk some Rams. It's Canada Day here in Canada, and as you can tell, this room needs some TLC to get ready for the season. So I'm hoping to go live a little more than I have been the past couple months, just because we're getting into preseason and training camp and preseason, and of course the regular season. And I am stoked to go on this 2026 Rams journey with all of you. And I appreciate everyone who watches this channel, likes, comments, interacts with me. I'm just a dude from Canada who loves talking about the Rams. And in this live stream, I really want to hear from you guys a lot. I have some topics that I'm going to talk through. And, if no one's talking in the comments, that's okay. That's cool. I'll do on there. But if you have a question, a hot take, anything, let it be known in the comments. I will do my best to interact and have a good time here. And let me know where you're watching from. I know I haven't been live in a while, so I appreciate everyone who knows me, or if you're new to me, that's cool too. But yeah, we got Daniel in the chat. Happy Wednesday, hope there. Hey, good to see you, Daniel. So while everyone's coming on in here, I will start off. We're going to start with a schedule prediction, all right? Because I realized I haven't actually made a video of a schedule prediction. I kind of ranked the games. You can go watch that video. I made it a while ago. But if you actually are curious, I'm going to bring up the schedule here, and we're going to go through game by game and do a win-loss prediction. But before I start doing that, I do want to say we got Jared in the chat. Good to see you, man. Hello, sir. Been a pretty while. Any thoughts on Canada having a 1-0 win in the World Cup knockout round? Dude, I went nuts when they got that goal in the the final or closing minutes of that game. I went nuts. I thought that game was going to penalty kicks. I really thought it had penalty kicks written all over it, but thankfully the Canadians were able to pull out a win, and now they got to face Morocco on the 4th of July. Ironic, the USA plays on Canada Day, and Canada plays on the 4th of July. So this is exciting times for sure. I've loved having the World Cup. I'm a pretty, I would say, passive soccer fan, but whenever the World Cup comes on, I love, if I can have the game on in the background at work, I try to do that. Or if you're watching the game with some friends or family, you can't beat just a summer where the FIFA World Cup is going on, and then your favorite team is looking like they're going to have a good season ahead of you in the NFL. Hey, how's it going? Sincere Like Sports. I'm doing good, man. Can't wait for the 2026 Rams. Let's go. Yeah, man, I'm pumped. I'm so pumped. But speaking of pumped, I'm going to pump up this schedule prediction. But I appreciate all of you who are tuning on in live with me or watching on the replay. Feel free to hit that like button. So I'm going to go through game by game here, and we'll put a win-loss record here. And so this is my schedule prediction for the Los Angeles Rams. And so we're starting the season down under in Australia. That's a terrible Aussie accent. I hope no Australians heard that. Down on the thunder. No, yeah. Blame my Canadian accent. Yeah, that's it. But anyway, Thunder Thursday taking on the division rivals, the Niners. And here's the thing. I love that the Rams are playing the Niners week 1. That's what a way to start off the season. Kind of wish it was in LA, but okay, we're starting the season, in Australia. I'm going to say there's so much hype. I think the Niners are one of the more interesting teams this offseason just because they're recovering from injury. They have the Brandon Ayuk weird drama stuff going on. They traded for Mike Evans. I think Christian Kirk was a good pickup for them. They needed wide receiver help. And I think this is going to be a competitive game, as the Rams and Niners often are. But kicking off this season, I really do think the Rams have the better roster than the Niners. And I'm going to give the Rams the W here. Then we're playing the Giants on Monday Night Football. Starting off with another. They start off with 3 primetime games, which is awesome. But Monday Night Football, New York Giants in LA at SoFi Stadium, the home opener for the Rams. And after, because they play on the Thursdays, so they get a little extra time to prepare. Sure, they're gonna have to get over some jet lag, but I'm gonna give the win to the Rams, starting off 2-0. Then they travel to Denver to play Mile High. That I think is going to be a really close game. I could see this being a lower scoring game, just kind of the way that the Denver defense, plays you. But Denver doesn't play a lot of teams like the Rams. The Broncos and Rams don't play very often. This could be a wild game. This could be a wild game. I'm giving the Rams the win, starting off 3-0, but I think that could be a wild game. Then you're taking on the Eagles, and folks, the Eagles have had the Rams numbers the past couple of years. It's really frustrating. It's annoying. I'm gonna give the Rams the win here in Philly to start off 4-0. I think this is the year. I know that this team should have beat them last year. There was some kicking drama that prevented that from happening. But yes, I think the Rams are ready to roll. They're going to beat the Eagles in Philly this year. Then a Monday Night Football game, taking on the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen coming to town. Ooh, this is going to be a good game. The last time the Rams and Bills played, that was one of the best games in like the past 10 years. Ooh, this could be a Super Bowl preview for all we know. I think at some point the Rams do lose a game. I'm not predicting they're going to go 17-0 because I think there's so many variables that come into it of just like all this one or two play that have to go their way or something like that. I'm going to say this is the Rams' first L of the year here. So I'm going just a little L there. Going there. And okay, I'll speed through this. I think they're going to beat the Cardinals. I think they're going to beat the Raiders. Now, I think this is going to be a good game with the Chargers, but I think they're going to beat the Chargers. I think they're going to beat the Commanders, and I think they're going to beat the Cardinals here. Okay? We're tracking so far. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins in a row. Combined with their 4, they're 9-1 going into the bye week. Of course, they're going to win the bye week. Little W. Oh, that's a terrible W. Anyway, there. That's the worst W ever. Okay. Then I think they're going. They play Green Bay. Ooh, on Thanksgiving Eve. That's going to be. I think this will be a fun game, and I actually think this could be the second loss of the year for the Rams. So I'll put it on there. Mainly just I think it's a Wednesday game, so you're out of routine, you're out of schedule, weird things can happen. And I do think the Packers are a team that the Rams have had trouble with historically. I think they can win all these games, but if in my prediction, I'm going to put that one as an L there. Then they play on December 3rd against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a fun game. I'm hoping we get another kind of barn burner like the 2018 game, but I am going to say the Rams come out with the win there. And then they go to San Francisco and they play the 49ers for the second time. They haven't seen them since week 1. And I just think this Niners team, I'm not sold on this Niners team being one of the best teams in the NFL. And I'm going to predict it. I'm predicting the Rams sweep the Niners this year. I know some people think I'm crazy, but I'm predicting it. Then you got the Cowboys coming to town, SoFi Stadium. Could be a fun game. At this is the point of the season, though, where I feel like the Cowboys are normally imploding. So I have a hard time picking them there. So I'm going to give a win there. Okay. Final 3 games of the year. The first one's Christmas Day at Seattle. And then we got Tampa Bay. And then Seattle again. I'm going to start off by saying I think that the Rams beat the Buccaneers here. Now, these Seattle games, I truly do think these will potentially be for the number 1 seed in the conference and for the division title. I'm gonna say the Rams win one and the Seahawks win one. So I'll give each of them the win at home there. And my mindset for that is I just think division rivals, they know each other well. Like Seattle's a good team. They're a good team, right? And I know they lost Kenneth Walker, but they're a team that's proven they know how to draft, they know how to develop talent. And I'm not convinced that they're better than the Rams. I just think they're good enough that it will come down to like, those one or two plays that go, Seattle or LA's way that decides those games. So that's my official prediction. I'm going 14-3. I'm confident this Rams team is ready to win a healthy amount of games. My only losses on the year, I'm saying, are Seattle, the Packers, and the Bills. But I'd be happy to be wrong, and the Rams just go 17-0 and win the whole Super Bowl. So why not? So anyway, that is my official prediction. I want to hear your predictions. But I see some more people in the chat, so I'm going to head on over here and talk about all of what you guys got going on here. Okay, let's see. So sorry, folks, I was rambling there. All right, I'm focusing on your questions from here on out. Let's see. Start Jared. Oh yeah, let's go. Rams forever. You know it, Jared. 17-0 for sure. Oh, I would love it, man. I would love it. Bosnia, how's it going? Hello, fellow Rams. Do you have a question? Why is Christian McCaffrey better than Tom Brady? I'm not sure what you mean by that. They play different positions. I'm not exactly sure, but hello. I hope you're doing well, Bosnia. I've never heard someone say they think that Christian McCaffrey is better than Tom Brady, but I guess like if Tom Brady were to play running back, Christian McCaffrey is definitely a way better running back than Tom Brady ever could be. I think that's the first loss in Denver. Okay, so you're thinking Denver? All right, okay. Oh, we need the win against Philly bad, man. Yep, I hear you. I hear you for sure. Do you think the Rams are based in LA? Well, like they're part of like Inglewood, which is like part of LA. I'm not sure what you mean there. Interesting question, but feel free to expand and explain. Yeah, Juno, good to see you, man. Yeah, they didn't do the Rams any favors there, but we get to see them in prime time. We get to cheer them on. It's gonna be a fun couple of weeks, that's for sure. Bruce, hello, Bruce. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. And we got yes, or affirm. I butchered that. I'm just going to yes. Not a hot take, but the Rams go 11-6 and fall to Seattle in division. Okay, interesting. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion. It's so hard to tell what any of these teams will be. Just look, yeah. That's honestly, that is why we keep watching the NFL, right? It's so unpredictable. I think that's part of the fun about just the off season is seeing like how is the team, constructing their roster with the draft, with free agency, with trades, right? It's so entertaining to just follow like the team building philosophy. What are they doing in training camp? What's their approach to the preseason? What's their routine for travel or for film study or for your defensive formation or your offensive scheme, right? It's so fascinating. And so many, who knows, like maybe the Raiders all of a sudden are going to be good, right? And where a lot of people in their schedule prediction do what I just did, and they're like, okay, Raiders, Cardinals, that's a win. Where maybe all of a sudden the Raiders are super good, or the Cardinals, Michael LaFleur's like, yeah, we're just going to run the ball with our three really solid running backs and not let Jacoby Brissett pass it like ever. And they're just going to try and hog the ball and win some games that you wouldn't have predicted, right? So, yeah, you never know. You never know. Maybe 71. Maybe. Hey, Muabdeeb! I'm live, man. Yeah, you can tell this room needs some work. I promise by the time I start doing my watch parties, folks, this room will look better than a broken futon and a sledgehammer behind there. But Muabdeeb, it's good to see you, my friend. Yeah, today it's Canada Day, and I was like, you know what? I just have this itching to go live and talk Rams. And yeah, I missed you all. I missed you all. So I hope you're all doing well. And I know you guys are all as excited as I am for this Ram season coming up. And Muabdeeb, I'm gonna here's a hot take. Muabdeeb might consume more Rams content than anyone on the planet, because I feel like, yeah, I see you, and I know a lot of you do, but I see like a lot. I feel like a lot of Rams content creators know Muabdeeb, and I know I watch a lot of Rams content, and I often see Muabdeeb in comment sections. So anyway, I'm honored you're here, Muabdeeb. I am not in prison. No, I'm just in my basement apartment that kind of looks sketchy right now. John, have you watched much more? Yeah, like I'm following Canada. I had like my Canada was my team because I'm Canadian. I was going for Scotland because like who wasn't going for Scotland? I'm a big fan of Argentina, just Messi. I am a passive soccer fan, but I love he's such an artist, on the field, right? And how can you not appreciate what Messi does on the pitch? Yeah, and then I'm gonna guess a lot of you are going for Team USA, and I know that that's it's been cool seeing the rest of the world discover how awesome that Americans can be, and going and hanging out in various parts of the country. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next and who comes out on top. Juno, happy candidate. Thank you, Juno Trooper. Appreciate it, eh? But here, wow. yeah, Moby, you are. We appreciate you. Yeah. Bruce, I posted something on one of your posts on why AD would wait a few games into the season to join there. Yeah, Bruce, I've heard that speculation. I'm sure I didn't see that particular comment. I don't think. Yeah, I think I want to bring that up. Okay. Let's next comment, next thing about Aaron Donald. Okay. So the topic is, and Bruce, I'm coming back to your comment here. Don't worry. If AD came back, how would he tell the world? Right. And would it be before training camp? Would it be during training camp? Would it be into the season? Right. Would he announce that he's coming back and then wait a few games, make sure he's in game shape or something like that? I tend to lean, if Aaron Donald's come back, we'll hear about it during training camp. Like he shows up to training camp, and then like there's kind of a scene or something like that. That's kind of where I think it is. I do know that on July 18th, Aaron Donald and Andrew Whitworth are hosting a kids football camp. And when I saw that, my mind immediately was like, AD, I could see the kids, bothering him to come back. And then he's like, all right, I had like 20 kids ask me, I'm coming back or something like that. Like to me, that's something Aaron Donald would do. Announce it at a children's camp that him and Andrew Whitworth are hosting. But maybe he would just do a subtle post on Instagram or on social media of some kind. Maybe, news is broken by like Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter or something. But I think that it would be really entertaining if he did decide, like, just casually, he tells like a kid and he's like, hey, go tell Sean McVay over there I'm coming back or something like that. I don't know. That'd be cool. And yeah, AD has notoriously always said he hates training camp, and maybe that's it, right? Like maybe it's right after training camp is done. He's like, you know what? I didn't have to do training camp. I'm back. Right? Muabdeeb. AD will be here before September 3rd. I don't know what that would be in metric. No, um, you and your imperial system. That's funny. All right. So again, would love to hear any of your thoughts, questions, hot takes, anything like that. I did my schedule prediction at the start of this here, but I'd like to get your guys' opinion on something. For this 2026 season, what Rams franchise record is most likely to get broken next season? Rushing with Kyron and Corum. Is it passing with Stafford, touchdowns, either catches or passes or rushing, sacks? Maybe Myles Garrett's like, hey, I want to do what I did with the Browns last year and one up it. Or takeaways, right? I mean, the Rams have this brand new shiny secondary with Watson and McDuffie, and they have a pretty stacked safety room. I'd be okay if the Rams were like, hey, we're just going to break the franchise record for takeaways, which would be pretty sweet. GP Shadows here. Good to see you. Eddie announces his return in the fearsome foursome throwback debut announced. Ooh, I like that. GP. That'd be pretty sweet. You think, yeah, Puka is absolutely in the conversation. I could totally see a situation where like he breaks the Rams. I think it's, let me just see here. Rams franchise records. Let me just bring it up here. Okay. Yes. Okay. So, yeah. That's all time. We want single season here. It's the wrong page. My bad. Season. Yes. So, yeah. Deloitte's Cooper Kupp, of course. Yeah. Cooper Kupp's 2021 season. He had 1,947 yards. And then Puka is number 2 with 1,717 yards last season. Oh, no, sorry. No. Okay. Sorry. I had it. There we go. Isaac Bruce is number 2. Puka's number 3. Yes. Isaac Bruce had 1,781. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. Team sacked records for regular season or playoffs. Ooh, I like that. You know what? Let me see. Okay. Rams franchise. Team sack record single season. Let's look this up here. You know what? It was 1999. Wow. No one ever talks about the 99 franchise record. It's 57 sacks in a season. That's breakable. That in 2020 they had 53. In the McVay era, that's the only one that's top. Wait, let me see. Yeah, the only one that's top 10 in the McVay era is 2020. That's they had 53 there. Okay, interesting. Oh, here, guys. Sorry, I need to share. Sorry, my bad. I'm so greedy, hogging the screen. Okay, interesting. Let's see. What about low scoring average per game? I see 3 and outs, and then like a bunch of 80-yard drive. Ooh, I don't think that is necessarily a metric, but I'd be cool if they set that record move, dude. I would love takeaways. What is the record, by the way? Yes. Most takeaways by a Rams team in a season. Let's take a look. Let's see. It looks like. Oh, this is actually interesting. Okay, here. I'm going to share my screen. Sharing is caring, right? Okay, let me go to. Sorry, one sec. Okay. Share screen. Okay, here we go. There we go, folks. Yeah, so this is NFL. So the Chicago Bears had 67 in 1935 in a season, but the Rams, their best season, they're at number 12. They had 56 in 1952. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Maybe that's harder to get than we think into the modern NFL because a lot of these teams, like the Seahawks 1984 team and the Redskins 1983, like those are kind of, I wouldn't even say they're modern, but like that's the closest. So maybe that one is not in play. 56 takeaways. Yeah, I don't know if that one's in play. 67. Yeah. Oh, too funny. Too funny. Okay. What is going on my screen here? Sorry, folks. All right. Too funny. But yeah, so anyway, I think that would be really fun if the Rams were able to break that, any of those records. I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts. So again, feel free to, if you have another kind of record prediction or something like that, but hear me out. Hear me out. What if the Rams special teams had just a massive turnaround? Because everyone's talking about the Rams defense and the Rams offense. The Rams have a new special teams coordinator. I'm gonna guess they change up everything because so many of the Rams' losses last year became because of special teams. What if the Rams had an actual punt return for a touchdown or a kick return for a touchdown, right? Wouldn't that just be like the craziest thing? Because I feel like that just didn't happen for the Rams, right? And I think that when I'm looking at this Rams team and the offseason moves that have been made, the one thing I'm still like nervous about, it's special teams, man. And I hate that I'm nervous about them. I really do. I think that I do think Harrison Mevis is our kicker. I'm confident he will be our kicker all season long. We won't be playing the kicker carousel game. That the worst. That game sucks. It's impossible for the Rams to get a kick return for a touchdown. I'm just here, just saying. But I think it's just the one thing that the Seahawks still have over the Rams is their special teams unit, right? Like especially with guys like Shaheed, and I love Xavier Smith, and I still think he's he is a good return man. I know a lot of people give him, they blame him for the conference loss, and absolutely that fumble still hurts. And if he doesn't fumble that, there's a scenario where the Rams absolutely go on and win that game, go on and win the Super Bowl, and we're not talking about any of this, right? But if the Rams, and this is what I'm curious about watching at training camp, if the Rams could get some real competition and make their special teams play to win, not just sort of sustain to not lose, right? And maybe the Rams, they had the knuckleball at the start of last year that they had some success with, but like maybe that's the key, is playing just more fundamentally sound special teams, right? Not missing an extra point, not missing a kick, or having two kicks blocked in the same game, right? And if the Rams can clean up those few things, that's how the Rams have a season to remember for sure. Hey, CMDR Carney, good to see you. Horns up. And yeah, I saw that. Alert Jackson temporary restraining order revoked. I make a habit of not talking about players' legal troubles on here. I think I used to kind of cover it, and I just there's so much I don't understand about the legal system and things like that. But I know Alert Jackson, obviously, there were some concerns. Is he going to be facing a suspension of some kind? Is he gonna and that still might happen. I don't know. But I just like I'm always cautious speaking about that, especially when the reality is, we just don't know until more information comes out. But that information that came out today, that is noteworthy for sure. If you're, for us Rams fans, and just hoping for the best for everyone involved, not just him as a player or the Rams as a team, but the people on both parts of that, and just that the situation will be resolved in a timely manner. But yeah, I know that definitely is big news in regards to what's happening. I know Jackson on Rams Report was talking about it, and I appreciate the work that he's been doing over on Chat Sports, and doing some really good work there for sure. Yeah, like I said, guys, I'm gonna probably start to come to the end of my live stream. I'm just gonna go short and sweet and to the point here, but wanted to talk to you guys and just go live, talk Rams a little bit. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll be live more often, getting back in the swing of things. Got to get ready for training camp. I know jerseys are coming. Hopefully an Aaron Donald announcement that he's returning will be coming. And hopefully the Rams will be having a season that we'll remember for the rest of our lives, right? Appreciate you all so much. Thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, go Rams, horns up, and peace out. Let's go Rams. Thanks, everyone. God bless. And if you're watching the FIFA World Cup, go Canada and go USA all day.